Oh, hey, no, this is Bryce.
Hey, Bryce, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. So I was wanted to talk about the Flint situation because I was listening
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
Young
yeah. Go
Turks.
ahead.
Oh, yeah. I listened to the Young Turks about it, and they were saying how there was like, I guess for Flint they did some type of funding for it, but it was something
Hmm.
really small enough and really that's going to be substantial. And it's just like we waste so much money in this country. It's like it's not even funny. Like
Yeah.
we waste money on so much stupid stuff, and we can't get water. We can't fix roads. We can't, do things that will really help us out as a country. When we spend all this
Hmm.
money wastefully, and obviously, we do need to vote and put people in that would definitely change it. And but then the establishment always seems to kind of, get in the way. Obviously, Bernie's the number one um,
Yeah. Yeah.
object. But what I guess my question is, what do you think needs to be done as we head to 2020, and no matter who wins presidency-wise, that I guess can really um, fix this problem because it's not getting better; it's
Hmm.
only getting worse.
Hmm. Hmm. Thank you. I appreciate you for calling in, Bryce. I haven't gotten to talk to you in a while, so that was pretty cool. But going forward, and like again, this ties into the government shutdown. Like we have had, and we started having these increasing issues with a entrenched, barely acting Congress. They've been acting like a bunch of 5-year-olds for like 6, 7, 8 years now, almost. I'm refusing to do anything. That's why I mean, they're almost in single digits in terms of their approval rating. It's like it's in the teens, I believe, percentage wise. It's the lowest I'm thinking here in history since they started tracking that type of thing. Um, and what do I think needs to happen is I really do think there's a pretty sweet video earlier today from Jesse Williams. Um, doesn't really bother me. Who was it? Was it Joss Whedon that did it? I mean, but Jesse Williams did a video about voting, right? National Voter Registration Day was, I believe, yesterday. And what I love about this video with Jesse Williams is it did not specify that you need to vote for a particular party, that you need to register a specific way. It just said register. And I think that's such a powerful and great message because he goes on to explain. And I wasn't going to talk about the video. I was going to write about it, but I'm going to talk about it real quick because I think it ties into Bryce's question about what can we do going into 2020. Register to vote. Register to vote. It don't matter if you vote in Green Party, Democrat, Republican, Libertarian. It doesn't matter if you are voting, and I'm being real right now, right? Register to vote, like that most basic, because one thing Jesse broke it down, this is so true. You can't, and we talk a lot about the criminal justice system. We talk about a lot of the disparities in race and mistreatment and how we don't have people who think like us making decisions or who understand the struggle or whatever the case may be. Register to vote because otherwise you can't sit on a jury. Like he says, like he breaks down the video, local and state elections are so important to so many aspects of our life. Like the Flint situation, we're talking about Flint right here, and the government shut down and the federal government doing funding. Yes, when Americans are in such dire straits and the states have failed families and communities, I do personally believe the federal government should step in and make it right. What is done to the state government? I mean, they figure out what we figure out, but I do believe that should happen because this is no fault of these families and communities. Like it's not okay. It's not okay that we have children bathing in water that is not right. It's not okay that we have had small children that now may have long-term difficulties because of the exposure to toxins in their water. I'm a little pissed about this issue right now, not just so much because of Flint, but because this Chemical Safety Board just released the draft report from the West Virginia water crisis, 2 years after investigation. I'll get to that in a few minutes. But what Jesse was saying in his videos is real short videos, real slick, it's really good. I like it, it's poignant. But there's so many aspects of our life that is tied to how you're registered to vote and how you engage in civic society around you. School boards, depend upon, who the dog catcher is, judges. If you're looking at on a state and local level, if you're someplace where your judges are elected, one of my girls from Indiana, she was telling me that I think there was actually a New York Times piece about this, her same county, Indiana, not too long ago, but there are like 7 judges. They're all Republican incumbents. They're running unopposed, and nobody ever runs against them. So not only do people, we need people to run for election, right? But we also need people, if someone's running, like with Bob McCulloch and Ferguson, he was unopposed in the general, but someone ran against him in the primary, and people did not vote. Okay? Like, voting is not the end all be all. It is not a panacea, but it does a whole damn lot towards decision making and providing opportunity in our communities. Like, we're talking about city council decision making. Like, we got a situation here with our city council where the mayor blocked funding for this area right by my house that was like several years in the making to get this road access fixed for this new shopping development that's going to bring economic development, blah, 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 to our area. And even though the funds have been earmarked for this project, city council passed it, all this other stuff, our knucklehead mayor tried to veto it. It's getting worked out and stuff now, but this type of stuff matters. Like, you need to pay attention to who is making the decisions for your community, who is sitting on these boards, right? If you're in a larger city where you have, housing and development corporations and things like that, who is sitting on the committees to make the decisions about where development and dollars go? We need people who will support and think and care about us. How does that happen? We have to vote for them. So going into 2020, I most definitely think and believe that one of the biggest things we can do is make sure people are registered to vote. And not just make sure that people are registered to vote, to make sure that people who are registered are voting. Now, I do not believe in telling anybody how to vote. That is between you and the voting booth. And if whoever you pray to, if you pray, or your maker, or whatever however you consider it, your mama, whatever you think of that you accountable to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got my personal opinions and what I think, people should do. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I respect you for making the choice that you make for your own life, but I definitely think that we need to make sure and engage in civic engagement and civic education over the next 4 years to talk about the issues that are affecting our communities.